What's popular up on YouTube? This is Arsenal Tie here, and today we are going to look at the Tekken 8 story. Tekken 8 is not really going to come out for a while now, because I know that Harada and the Tekken team are currently working on Tekken X Street Fighter, which is around 30% complete as I last saw, I think, on Twitter. But anyway, everything I'm about to say is based on my theories. I've done stuff like this before and it was quite fun to do, so I'm just going to give it another go. Let's see what actually happens in the Tekken 8 story. But before we go into Tekken 8, I want to do an overview for all those who are clueless and have no idea what's going on in everything that's kind of happened in Tekken so far. So let's go! 50 years before Tekken 1, Heihachi's father Jinpachi Mishima founded the Mishima Zaibatsu, and the Mishima Zaibatsu at the time was mostly made of martial arts dojos, so it wasn't really a military firm at the time as you know it to be now. Jinpachi sometime later has a son, Heihachi Mishima, and in Heihachi's teenage years a younger girl named Kazumi Hachijo arrives at the dojo that Heihachi is training in. The two then go on to train together for years and eventually kind of become inseparable. The two have a son together and name him Kazuya. Since Jinpachi was the leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu and Heihachi was rather greedy, Heihachi betrayed his father and locked him up underneath a dojo named Honmaru, and he kinda left him there to die. And then he became the new leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu. Heihachi adopts a young boy named Lee for the sole purpose of being a martial arts rival to Kazuya, and Kazumi begins to show weird demon-like behaviours and Heihachi is concerned. But one day Kazumi attacks Heihachi in her demon form, talking about how the Hachijo clan exists to kill people like him. She fails and Heihachi is sad, because Heihachi kinda killed his own wife. Being a great father, Heihachi then goes on to throw his 5-year-old son Kazuya off of a cliff, as Heihachi fears that Kazuya also has devil powers like his mother, aka the devil gene. Kazuya survives, because he's Kazuya, and goes into hiding to plan revenge. Also, it seems something awakens within him, aka the devil gene. A whole 20 years later, Heihachi hosts the first King of Iron Fist tournament in hopes to find a real challenge. Side note, Heihachi probably had another child within this 20-year time period, and the child was named Lars Alexanderson, and this was only to test if, you know, Heihachi had the devil gene himself, but Lars will become relevant later. Kazuya defeats Heihachi in this King of Iron Fist tournament and return the favour of throwing him off of a cliff and gain control of the Zaibatsu. Heihachi being Heihachi survives and plans revenge. Kazuya hosts the second King of Iron Fist tournament, and during the tournament Kazuya meets a woman named Jun. They have a very intimate encounter. Final round of the tournament, Kazuya faces a very angry Heihachi, and even with devil powers, Kazuya loses. This time Heihachi throws Kazuya into a volcano. Jun has a child named Jin Kazama, and Kazuya now has a son. Decades pass, and under Heihachi's control, the Zaibatsu kept a very low profile while investigating a legend of Toshin, an ogre-like creature hidden in a temple in Mexico that is rumoured to have immense power. Meanwhile, Jun Kazama gave birth to a boy and named him Jin. They lived together in peace as the years went by. However, around the time Jin turned around 15, Jun sensed something foreboding. She advises Jin to find Heihachi if anything were to ever happen to her. Sadly, that day came, and the ogre attacked Jun. Jin runs after Heihachi. A quick fun fact, this ogre actually only killed the first king. All the other fighters went missing, so Jun and all the other people that ogre, you know, presumably killed, they just went missing. Never found the bodies. In the end, Jin killed the ogre, and Heihachi backstabbed Jin and shot him in the head. But Jin's devil gene powers from Kazuya activated and he escaped the temple. Kazuya's body is recovered by an organisation known as G-Corp, and they rebuild his whole body. It's been around 20 years since he was thrown into that volcano. Heihachi finds intel on G-Corp and sends out a squad to ambush Kazuya's location, but Kazuya destroys everyone. Jin is currently training in Australia, hiding from Heihachi. Kazuya returns and enters the King of Iron Fist tournament again and beats up Heihachi again, and Heihachi leads Kazuya to Honmaru, where Jin is chained up. Jin is chained up because he as well entered the King of Iron Fist tournament 4 and was ambushed by Heihachi's men. Kazuya's first sighting of his son causes him to get very excited, which causes the devil gene to activate within him. However, at this point Kazuya gains full control of his powers and controls the devil within him. With the power of virginity, Jin beats up both of them and flies away. He does not kill them because he saw a vision of his mother and felt bad. Moments later, the G Corporation locate Heihachi and Kazuya in Honmaru and they plan to kill them. They send Jack robots and Kazuya and Heihachi fight side by side for a while. But Kazuya throws Heihachi into the robots and escapes. An explosion follows with Heihachi trapped inside. Okay, so let's go all the way back. Do you guys remember that Jinpachi is being, locked underneath this building at the start, Honmaru? Well, this explosion caused him to awaken because some sort of power possessed him. With Heihachi gone for a while and recovering, yes, because of course he's not dead, Jinpachi takes over the Mishima Zaibatsu and hosts the 5th King of Iron Fist tournament from the shadows. I think he hosted this because he wanted to actually be defeated. He didn't really want to destroy the world, but he had so much power that he just had to. But he's kind of good-hearted, so he wanted to be defeated. Anyway, Jin ends up winning the tournament and takes the Mishima Zaibatsu. Tekken 6 rolls around and for some reason there is an Egyptian god named Azazel that tells Jin it is going to destroy the world. Nope, I can't make this up. Jin discovers that he needs to fill the world with negative energy to bring out Azazel and eventually defeat him. Jin and the Mishima Zaibatsu declare war with the rest of the world. Meanwhile, Lars was part of the Mishima Zaibatsu forces, but decided to create a rebellion army because he did not like the whole World War thing. And just a reminder, Lars is Kazuya's half-brother because Heihachi had a child just to test if he had the devil gene or not. After finding out that G-Corp betrayed him, Kazuya kills most of the higher-ups at G-Corp and takes over. Under Kazuya's rule, G-Corp are the main force fighting against the Mishima Zaibatsu, and they are seen as the world's saviour. G-Corp then put a bounty on Jin's head, and in response the Mishima Zaibatsu announced the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6. Replace that with announcer. A lot of stuff happens in Tekken 6, but it's not very relevant to the Tekken 7 story. The only thing you really need to know is that Jin ends up killing Azazel and an explosion happens. Jin survives the explosion and is later found by the UN. So here we are now at Tekken 7. Okay, so let's lay everything out on the table. There are a few organisations and clans in the Tekken 7 story that will affect Tekken 8. First off, you have the Mishima Zaibatsu, owned by Heihachi once again in Tekken 7, and they specialise in military. Then we have G Corporation, owned by Kazuya, and they specialise in scientific experiments. Next up are the Serious Marksmen, who are mostly based in Italy and have had a historic influence in Europe for a few hundred years now. The leader of this group is named Claudio Serafino, and this group specialises in exorcism. Next up are Violet Systems, and they are owned by Li Chaolan. The company specialises in ergonomics and humanoid research. The Hachijo clan, which seems to be plotting against the Mishimas since Kazumi was sent to the Mishima camp and Heihachi's dojo in her childhood just to kill Heihachi. And the final organisation is the Rebellion Army, which was created by Lars. In Tekken 8, not all of these organisations will be relevant. I believe the Mishima Zaibatsu as an organisation will no longer exist, as the story suggests that it's going to shut down. This is after Kazuya destroys their satellites and causes mass destruction. The news media began to think that the Mishima Zaibatsu for some reason took down their own satellites, and so their reputation is now beyond recovery, even though they started a world war. But hey, whatever. I mean, just look at Heihachi's reaction to this. Oh, and with the additional fact now that Heihachi is dead, so there's no real leader to the Mishima Zaibatsu. You can say that Nina did seem to be a leader at one point, but since Heihachi told her he gives no second chances, Her failure to capture Jin at one point in the story may have caused her to get fired by Heihachi or something. In addition to the Mishima Zaibatsu shutting down, G Corporation's reputation has also gone down the drain. This is because Kazuya was exposed live on national television that he was a demon, so people put 2 and 2 together and realized that a demon was running G Corporation, so everybody kinda hates G Corp now. So I believe now that G Corporation has completely and utterly become the force of evil against humanity. The public eye genuinely believes that the battle with G Corporation is now demons versus humans. I genuinely don't understand how the organization still exists, but it's literally taking over the world at the end of Tekken 7. I think that the Tekken 8 story will present it as more of Kazuya ruling the world rather than G Corporation. Violet Systems and the others will still have a part to play in the Tekken 8 story, and I am now going to present to you my breakdown on what I believe will happen in Tekken 8. So sit back, relax, grab some popcorn and listen in. So to begin where Tekken 7 left off, Kazuya and Akuma were fighting to the death at the same scene whereby Kazuya killed Heihachi. Heihachi is completely gone at this point, melted by lava. You can even hear the splash in this cutscene, come on guys. Anyway, Kazuya, using all of his power and strength, manages to fight off Akuma but does not manage to kill him. He flees the scene. Akuma is also harmed from the battle and leaves the scene to go into training. Meanwhile, Jin, Lars, Elisa and Lee are operating from the Violet Systems headquarters and are trying to generally get intel on Kazuya's whereabouts. With no luck, they decide to include Akuma in the search, as leaked Mishima Zaibatsu files reveal how Akuma almost killed Heihachi and Kazuya in their one-on-one confrontations. It would benefit them greatly to have him as an ally. The search for Akuma begins, but Jin doesn't realise that Akuma actually craves to fight powerful people like him. The serious marksmen have been doing a lot of work, and Claudio, being the leader of the exorcism group, has been keeping an eye on the bearers of the devil gene for a while now. Very few people in the Tekken universe know that Jin has devil-like powers, yet with no input from Heihachi or Nina when he is working with them, Claudio talks about Jin's powers.
Jin Kazama. So che il suo demone interiore supera perfino quello di Kazuya.
During Tekken 7, Claudio is confronted by Ling Xiaoyu, the girl who has been searching for Jin for a few years now, and she assumes Jin is in the Mishima Zaibatsu because, you know, he was the leader at one point. Claudio knows of Xiaoyu's relationship with Jin through his research and decides that holding her hostage would be a good way to lure Jin out. Claudio gives Xiaoyu a beatdown and captures her. Xiaoyu is now locked within the Serious Marksman's HQ.
Che sarai un'ottima esca per la mia preda.
With a lot of time for self-reflection, Kazuya realises that he needs more power. With Heihachi gone, his main goal is now power. Boring, I know, but you guys may hear Jin say that power is everything a lot, but Kazuya said it first. If Kazuya kills Jin, Kazuya can absorb Jin's devil gene-like powers as seen in Tekken 4, making him even stronger, and eventually by killing Jin, he can gain enough power to remove the threat that is Akuma. Therefore, under G Corporation's name, Kazuya decides to host the 8th King of Iron Fist tournament. So a lot of people are trying to kill Jin in this game, but there is still a group that wants to kill Kazuya, the Hachijo clan. Kazumi still has family that is alive to this day, and they have seen all of the destruction caused by the Mishima family despite sending Kazumi to kill Heihachi all those years ago. To their knowledge, Akuma was supposed to kill both Kazuya and Heihachi, and he has failed, so they decide to send out one of their fighters to enter the 8th tournament to kill Kazuya. This fighter can be male or female, but he or she will have Kazumi's Hachijo karate style with a few differences. To fill up some of the story, there will be a whole segment with Jin, Lee, Elisa and Lars going on a mission to save Xiaoyu, as they now know she has been captured. They travel to Italy and arrive at the Serious Marksman's secret HQ. After a lot of fighting and chaos, they manage to break through their defences to meet Xiaoyu. The team are split at this point, and Claudio stands in Jin's way for a one-on-one. The two fight and Jin beats Claudio with ease. The two will have some kind of dialogue about the devil gene, but Jin will tell Claudio how it's actually a curse for him and he is actually looking to do good. So Claudio and Jin will eventually become allies. As for Xiaoyu, you know what's going to happen. At this point, there will be more scenes of destruction and scenes suggesting that Kazuya is pure evil. I mean, come on, the man laughed at the prospect of his own deceased mother trying to kill him. He doesn't give a fuck. He just doesn't give a fuck. The King of Iron Fist Tournament 8 will begin, and all of the characters we know will enter the tournament for, you know, all of their own reasons. These include Kazuya, Jin and his team, the Hachijo family member, and Akuma. Since Jin, Elisa, Lars and Lee all entered the tournament together, they'll have to split up eventually to compete in the tournament. Something tells me that one of them is going to die to Kazuya's hand, to make him seem even more evil, and to add, you know, some fuel to the fire and some danger to the story. I believe that person will be Lars Alexanderson. He had a full character that both started and ended in Tekken 6. He's not really adding anything to the plot at this point. He seems to be growing old quickly. When you compare him to Kazuya from Tekken 6 to Tekken 7, Lars looks like he's aged rather rapidly. His weird relationship with Elisa is now irrelevant, and there's no reason for him to be in the game anymore. So I believe that Lars Alexanderson will die to Kazuya Mishima in this tournament. Akuma will meet with the Hachijo in the tournament, and this will probably give us more backstory as to what happened between Akuma and Kazumi. All we know at this point is that Kazumi saved Akuma's life in the past. The Hachijo will tell Akuma that he does not need to hunt Kazuya anymore because they're going to do it themselves. Akuma will then leave at this point, maybe returning in Tekken 9. Lee and Elisa will probably lose at some point in the tournament, and this will leave Jin being the last of the original 4 still in the tournament. When you think about it, Lars was really the only family that Jin had left that was still on his side and wanted to help him. So when it gets to the final stage of the tournament with Kazuya, the fight now has more purpose. A massive fight will happen with a lot of flashbacks and dialogue. We'll probably see Jin's true devil form at this point as well, kind of like Tekken Blood Vengeance. I don't really want to underestimate how big this battle will be, but I'm not really going to give details because I don't really know. I think that's up to the Tekken team to decide. But at the end of this battle, Jin will come out victorious, and I do believe he will kill Kazuya. Of course, again, the whole sequence will be much more dramatic as I've made it out here, but you kind of get the point. The story does not end here though. The Hachijo family member arrives at the scene to see a dead Kazuya and Jin in his true devil form. A thing to remember here is that the Hachijo family's purpose is to assassinate those who are deemed a threat to the world. The Hachijo, not knowing a lot about Jin, assumes that his power is dangerous and he must be stopped. Jin is weak at this point from the previous battles, so he begins to be beaten pretty badly. As Jin is about to die to the hands of this demon, Elisa swoops him and manages to escape with his unconscious body. Tekken 8 will conclude with the Hachijo clan trying to hunt for Jin. To go even further beyond, I believe Xiaoyu and Jin will have children of their own, and these children will have some sort of devil gene, making them targets of the Hachijo clan. So to summarize this story, Akuma does not need any more involvement as the Hachijo member excused him from killing Kazuya. The only reason I believe he will be involved will be to fight a very powerful opponent such as Jin, because he just likes to fight people. Lars died an honourable death trying to defeat Kazuya, and his rebellion army is really no longer needed as the war is now over. Elisa and Lee are still alive and Violet System still exists. Claudio is now Jin's ally, which will help Jin with the devil gene curse he has been dealing with. With Claudio being an exorcist, I think it's quite interesting to see a battle between an exorcist and a family full of devils, kind of the devil gene. I think that's quite an interesting dynamic. Kazuya is now dead along with his father Heihachi, and in the final battle between Jin and Kazuya, we will find out a lot more about the character. Jin and Xiaoyu will have children together. Despite Jin being kind of against the devil gene bloodline thing, I think that now he will believe he can have children because he knows that deep down, even if you have the devil gene, you can still be a good person. Also, that makes it easier just to further the plot for Tekken 9, come on. And that, my friends, is how I believe the Tekken 8 story will end. I know there's a few strange points in my theory, with Akuma especially, but I think that Capcom don't really want Akuma to be defeated, and I don't really see any other way of the Tekken team getting rid of him, so I think it's going to be something along those lines. Make sure to comment below and tell me what you think will happen in Tekken 8, because I'm not very sure. I just like to theorize stuff. So thank you guys for watching, I really appreciate it, and thank you to all of my Patreons as well. I really appreciate the support. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching again. Peace.